Okay, here we are. We're back. Another weekly episode, I guess. I've got two new guests this week. Well, I have my daughter Lexi.
Hello.
And her boyfriend Dee.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, so, well, let's get right into it. And today's going to be a little bit different. Just conversation about, well, you guys, what you've been up to. Mm-hmm. And Dee, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What are you doing here? What's going on?
Well, I'm from the Brenham area, or Houston area. I'm from a small city called Brenham, and I play football, go to Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. That's where I attend college. I'm currently a sophomore going into my junior year. And that's where I met Lexi, at Trinity, and she's a grade below me. She plays softball, so just an athlete trying to, graduate college and take on life,
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm here just visiting my girlfriend Lexi on a 2-week trip to BC. I've never been here before, but it's beautiful, so I'm loving it down here. The weather's nice. It's away from the heat in Texas.
Yeah.
So.
Have you been to Canada before?
Never.
No? First trip to Canada?
Never.
Okay, what was your number one, what was your expectation compared to what the reality is? Did you think it was going to be the way that it is?
I expected it to be a little bit more cold. I kept getting videos from Lexi's mom about like mooses and stuff on the road, so I was expecting something like that, but nothing like that yet. But I still got quite a bit here, so I'm excited.
All right. Has there been anything so far that you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, or that you're surprised with?
Not necessarily. I mean, everything has been, I guess, expected.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily
Right on.
anything.
But the green, you said the nature, everything.
Oh yeah, everything is really green.
Yeah.
I'm from the country in Texas, so we do have a little bit of nature, but not anything like this. It's nature everywhere. Everyone has a beautiful garden. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, welcome. Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what do you guys have planned? Over the next couple weeks?
Yeah, so yesterday, because it's Canada Day, we did like all the festivities. So, like we went to the parade and we went down to the beach for the food trucks. What else did we do yesterday?
We went to the street market, copped some
yeah.
stuff, like got a little bit of little novelties, like little gifts.
Got some new earrings from the street market.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're gonna go to the Goats on the Roof after this.
Goats on the Roof in Coombs?
Yep, in Coombs.
Yes.
Because he's never seen anything
Have
like
you heard
that.
of this?
Yeah, I have. I heard she used to work there, but I've never
Oh,
seen it.
okay.
Yeah, I used to work at the ice cream place. So.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go to Cameron Lake because it's kind of over in that area. Tell them some ghost stories about it, and then go to Cathedral Grove because the trees are freaking
right on.
huge.
Yeah, that's such a good place to go on a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very good. Well, since we often talk about overcoming challenges and high achievement and doing hard things, I want to shift into that. And so Dee, you're college football player. What did it take? Have you ever been at a point where you just thought, I mean, obviously you guys practice a lot. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that.
Of course.
Were there parts along the way when you were thinking like I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, or like it got really hard?
Almost every morning.
Every morning?
We wake up at 5 a.m. for practice, so it's rough, but that's when you just got to dig deep. I mean, my dad always instilled in me like determination and hard work can get you anywhere you want to go in life. So as long as you just keep at it and don't quit, you'll see progress along the way. So
what's your goal in the end? What keeps you going?
Really my goal in the end is just like the people surrounded by me, the people I love, to recognize that like I'm a good hardworking person. I was that man that you can call on at any time, like for anything really, like just the people around me. And I always want to be like a wholehearted, like wholesome person. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Well, that's cool. And how about for you, Lexi? Same question.
Goals or
in terms of just
hardship?
like just getting out there and doing it when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. It was definitely hard. Like first year of college, there's a lot of stuff to learn. First softball season was far from easy, but the people around me really made it worth it. Like yeah, it was hard because like I didn't get much playing time, and like it's just you really have to like embrace the grind because that's all you really can do. But the thing that did really keep me going was like not only like my own motivation for myself, but also just having the people around me that were great teammates and just like making it a fun atmosphere and fun to be there. But yeah, my goal is just to keep working hard and get some more opportunities for myself, and then also, finish out college strong and
Yeah.
get a good job somewhere after.
Sure. Well, that's cool. I mean, you both kind of mentioned like grinding it out or just doing it. Like, do you feel like that is a part of success? Is that grind, like, or because I've heard other people talk about trying to avoid the grind, but knowing that it's work that you need to do, but not looking at it as a grind, like just looking at it as this is just the work. This is what it is, because the reference to it being a grind is like something that could go away, that maybe it's not going to be a grind at some point. But from what I've read about and talking to other successful people, they say that they just looked at it, this is the work that I need to do. It's always going to be hard. And when they stopped looking at it as a grind, it actually got easier because they just accepted it for what it was. The work stayed the same, but mentally it was easier because they weren't viewing it as a grind anymore. They were just viewing it as the work, right? Have you ever thought of that or had that type of framing to doing the work?
I think so. I think like in the moment, like it's kind of just like a routine sort of, like especially in college, because you go to class, you go to practice, and then you do your homework and you go to bed. It's just like every day is pretty much the same thing, or for whatever you go to practice in the morning, but it's the same idea. So I feel like in that, like it does just feel like kind of like a constant like work and like in the moment, but like looking back on it, like it looks more like a grind, I feel like. Does that make sense? Because I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was like hard at the time. I know things are not going to be easy in the future, but I don't know. Does that make sense? Sort of?
Well, it does. I mean, it's a perspective of how you look at it, right? Yeah. I guess the one point that I was trying to make was that it can be less draining if you're looking at it as just, this is just what I have to do and accepting it, versus, and all it is I guess it's a reference. And maybe calling it a grind, or like people are like, oh, I'm just doing the work, and not being excited about it because it's so hard, but looking at it and more energizing yourself from the perspective of this is what I get to do, and I'm able and capable to do that. Most people aren't. Most people quit. And so having a sense of pride and having it energize you from that perspective, instead of like just like putting in the work and really grinding it out and like making it harder than
like a drag almost.
It's pulling you down versus I've got this, I'm doing it. Yeah, it's hard, but I'm here to do hard things, right? That's all. It just was a perspective. I've heard about that, and I know both of you have. I'm sure you have people come in and talk to your teams about mindset and performance. Is there certain things that you've learned to help get you through those tough times, or things that you've read or learned from other people that is helpful?
Just from my perspective, like from the grind part, like being a year ahead of you in college, I guess it gives me a little bit of a different perspective, because my first year, of course, is always going to be your hardest year. You don't know like what to do. You're just learning things. You're feeling things out. But the second year is obviously like he said, it's going to be like almost like you look at it as just work. Like you know what to do and you know what you have to do, and it's just how you look at it and how you carry yourself while you're doing it. Which is why I feel like my sophomore year was like a lot more successful, a lot more easy on the field and in the classroom. And then, like he says, like just when people come and talk to us about mindset and stuff, like your mindset can change your perspective on anything you're doing. Like there's a lot of people who wish they were in a position like us to go to college and play sports and like do all the hard things we think we are hard, but like it's just to know that there are people who would die to be in a position like our position. That just makes me a lot more like grateful and aggressive when it comes to attacking the things that we do.
Yeah, for me, I think what helps me a lot is like thinking of where I was like when I first started playing softball, like the first couple of years that I was playing, and I had these big dreams, and I never thought that I would be playing, college softball in Texas. Like that was never, like I had a dream, but it just felt so far away. And so I just have to remind myself of like why I started, and that, like the younger version of me would be so proud of me for where I am. Like that's a big thing for me, is like confidence. Like I really need to work on my confidence, and one thing that helps that is just thinking about like how far I've come and then how far I'm able to go because I've come this far already.
Yeah, well that's awesome to hear. What is, okay, let's just shift a little bit now, just talking about Texas in general. I mean, there's a lot of, people make generalizations if you haven't been to Texas, what it's like there. if you could tell somebody and summarize what Texas is like to you, and I want each of you to answer, if you were just to say, like, maybe something that people wouldn't expect or know about Texas, or what your impression is about Texas, and if you were telling somebody about it, what do you have to say about Texas?
Well, there's a saying, it comes from HEB, it's called "Everything's bigger in Texas," and that's probably what I would say about Texas. Like, everything is bigger when it comes to like food, and then just like houses, like all the weather, everything is bigger. Like, and then another, I would say, if you haven't been to Texas, I would just say, like, wear sunscreen and bring bug spray.
There's a lot of bugs.
There's a lot of bugs. But
Oh, okay. See, I wouldn't have expected that for some reason. Yeah. How about you, Lexi?
I would say, like, I think a lot of people are like scared of Texas, like especially Canadians, just because like I guess like the South has like a reputation. I don't know. And like me myself, even before I moved there, I was just a little nervous. But like truly, like the people there, especially like the service industry, are so kind, and like just like Southern hospitality is like a real thing. Like you go down there and people are just very helpful, very kind. Like another thing is people do casually wear boots and a hat and like a big like belt buckle like to like Walmart. Like you'll just see someone walking around with that, which you think is like, oh, they only do that in like movies, but like no, it's like they actually dress like that. Some people do.
Right
and
on.
yeah, things are bigger. Like the Walmarts in Texas are actually
everything is
massive.
big.
Like it's
Everything is
insane.
big.
Yeah. Were your expectation or your impression of what Texas is in reality versus what you thought it would be? What are some differences there?
Biggest differences, well, Texas is huge, and I didn't realize how big it was until I started playing there, and we had to travel like all over Texas to play different schools. Like there's so many different like types of like landscapes you can get in one state. Like South Texas, like kind of where we're at, sort of is like drier. It's humid, but there's not, it's more like brown, I guess, like not as many like woodland like trees. But if you go like up North Texas, like towards like Dallas, there's a lot more trees up there, and like it's more similar to like here, like they have more greenery and stuff. And then like East Texas, like Houston is like you have like the ocean over there. Like I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. Like Galveston Beach, like you can get a lot of different things in one state, and I didn't really know that because the only time I'd ever been to Texas was for my visit to Trinity, which is in San Antonio, and so that's all I really knew until I started traveling. But yeah.
Cool. Good. Well, thank you. We were, Harmony and I were talking last week about personal fears and overcoming those fears. And really a big part of it with fear was just being unfamiliar with certain things. And so we call it fear, but a lot of cases, if you just looked at it as, well, I'm just not familiar with that yet. Once you become familiar, those fears start to go away, right? And like you mentioned, Dee, being in after second year of university, you're in the groove, you're familiar, you've got friends, you're settled in, and it gets easier, right? So is there things coming up in your, I guess, either academically or through sports that you've set some goals that you're kind of afraid or trying to achieve, or things you need to overcome in order to take some next steps or feel like you're advancing?
I set a couple of goals for me at the beginning of this summer, like to gain a couple pounds and just like to put on some weight before football season. That's always been a problem I've had, was just gaining weight and like maintaining it at least, because I have a high metabolism. But it's not the fact that I'm like scared to gain weight or scared to go to the weight room. It's just the fact of like being consistent and actually hitting it hard to get what I want out of it. That's the part that's like fearful, because then when you go back to school, you get judged by all the coaches. Like they look at you and they tell you to get on the scale, and then they give you that look. It's either a good look or a bad look. But yeah, that's all. I mean, it's not fearful, but I just have to like remind myself that like I know who I am as a player, despite what weight I am, and that's really it.
Yeah, for me. This is not really answering your question, but kind of just like something that reminded me of is like things that really help me, like when I'm in like a point of like being scared or like being unfamiliar, is like talking to other people that have already been through it. Like that helps me so much. Like just forming those connections on my team, like with older players that had already been through all this stuff, like helped me so much. And so I guess a goal going into next season is to be that for the new players, like to be like a leader and to be someone that they can come to if they have like questions, just because I know how scary it can be to come in and, like barely know anyone and just be like nervous especially about softball. Like you just want to be perfect right away, but like obviously that's not realistic. And so I just want to be that person for the new players, the younger ones coming in. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads me to my Wednesday Wolper wisdom, which is to be that person, to be that resource, to be willing to help others without any expectation for anything in return, right? Just be supportive, because for any of us that have had success or had achievement, we've had countless people along the way that helped us and they got nothing in return. And so being willing to pay it back, pay it forward, and I think that's so huge. And if you're one that's willing to help others without the expectation of anything, like if there's, oh, what's in it for me? Like, forget about that. You're also going to be one that's going to receive from others in the same way. So that's my Wednesday Walper wisdom.
I like that.
I like that.
Right?
Yep.
Right? So I think that's a big part of it. So many people, they just don't want to get up or get out and do anything. It's like, well, what am I going to get out of this, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know. You don't know who you're going to run into, who you're going to talk with next, right? You might make a connection with somebody that could just lead your whole life in a completely different direction.
Right.
But if you're not putting yourself out there or talking to people, right, then, or helping,
You'll never know.
Right.
you will never know. It's
Take
amazing.
initiative.
Yeah, that's right. Take initiative. Put yourself in those uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Be willing to do the hard work, and don't just go for it. Because what have you got to lose, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So before we wrap up, any closing thoughts that you want from D? What do you?
Y'all might see a lot more of me after a couple years. I plan on being down here.
Yeah, you like it up here?
Yeah,
You
I
like
really do.
Canada?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah,
we'd be
nice.
happy with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just happy to be home and like enjoying the sunshine, and I hope that everyone else is having a good summer because it's really nice here right now. So
Yeah, this is like the place to be
yeah.
at this time of year, no question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate you both being on here.
Yeah.
That was really fun, and I appreciate the insights. Great to learn more about you and where you guys are at and where you're headed. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the time. Enjoy being the tour guide and enjoy being the tourist.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Okay, right on. Thank you. Thanks again for watching.
Great job, you guys.
Is that good? Yeah, you guys did awesome.
Dead.
Oh.
Yeah,
Boom.
nice.